This is about to be a faceless video from my mouse pad, one of them, because I just worked out and I'm not made up or presentable. And I cleaned a tub, I think. Okay, so there's a food crisis going on right now, and I'll be straight up. I am blessed. I don't have food insecurity. I am fine with that. My household is fine. However, other people aren't, and they may not always tell you that. So I want to put out some things I kind of observed from my grandparents, and I'll share. So back in my day, when my grandparents were visiting me, now I'm 57, my grandparents were born in 1917, 1919, 1923, respectively. Awesome grandparents. I was blessed in that area. All 5 of them, because I had a step-grandmom. But anyway, they did things that I watched. I didn't realize I was observing, but I watched. Like, my paternal grandfather had a garden in the Philadelphia area. They lived in a duplex, him and my grandmother, but he had a plot of land. I think it was Upper Darby. Sharon Hill? I don't know. I got to ask my Aunt Janice. But he took me there, and he let me taste string beans right off the thingamajig, and that's partially, and my mother too, where I got my love of gardening. So I know at holidays we had like greens or string beans that he grew. And notice I say he. This is a man born in 1919 and could throw down in the kitchen. So anyway, to not make this a 20-hour long video, I watched, certain family members garden. My grandmother was great sewing, and she taught that to my Aunt Janice, and I picked up some of that so I can mend things if I need to. But I'm saying that to say we got away from a lot of skills that would help us in this food insecurity thing. One of them, which I've belabored getting to the point that I was going to talk about, was breadcrumbs and stuffing. And let me tell you what I do for that. I don't like to waste things. I've never liked to waste things. Maybe because I had a daughter when I was 23 years old, and I've always had to watch money. So don't like to waste, even though I may have squandered things when my parents were giving them to me, but, I digress. But when I was on my own, I don't like wasting things. Still don't. So I made several cakes this summer for an event that I hosted, and people liked them. Great, awesome. But 1 or 2 were not the way I wanted them to look for people. Like, they tasted okay, but you don't want to present them. So I saved them. And what I mean by save is slice them up, put them in the freezer, and turn them into either breadcrumbs or stuffing. And what I did, and this is not new, this is just stuff people have done for generations, is bake the, either breadcrumbs or ends of bread or English muffin that no one's going to eat in the package. Just save it, put it in the freezer, and then eventually bake it in the oven. Not too long away. Like, don't have it in there for years. I'm talking about maybe a few weeks, because Thanksgiving's coming, and that's when we do stuffings. We might need our breadcrumbs for the macaroni. Now, mind you, when I'm cooking for other people, I'll use store-bought stuff. I'll make it, but for my household, I like to be conservative and resourceful. So with the breadcrumbs, sometimes I put garlic on them, or, garlic salt, or any kind of seasoning, depending on what I'm doing with that particular set of breadcrumbs or the stuffing that I'm going to make. It's just a money saver for my household, and something a lot of people don't know to do in this time of food insecurity. Something we haven't taught our kids, people of my generation. I'm guilty of that. There's just little things that I just didn't teach them. Not that they didn't pick up things that they're teaching me now, but I didn't think to say, hey, make some breadcrumbs. That wasn't in my lexicon when they were growing up. Also, totally different note, but a money saver. I know of some people who have electric bills are high because winter's coming. So I noticed, this is just a minor example that I do because I'm frugal. Let's take your dryer, for example. I try to turn my dryer on a lower setting or time frame that I need. If I go and check the dryer, let's say I check my towels, they're not dry yet, I just turn it on a little longer, maybe 10 minutes. I say that to say I don't want to run it for, let's say, 90 minutes and then I've wasted a bunch of electricity because the towels don't take 90 minutes to dry. Also, I do things like I hang up blouses. Like if let's say I wash them on delicates in the dryer, in the washer, I hang up blouses, I hang up t-shirts with fancy patterns, I dry sweaters on like a sweater thingy that holds it, or like a railing, or lie it on a bed with a towel. I try to put as little as possible in the dryer, which preserves the clothing but also saves electricity. So that's something that people who are having electricity or high utility bills can do. And do that if you don't have high utility bills. We all gotta kind of save the planet. But yeah, so I had other stuff, but I can't remember. But a lot of stuff I picked up from the grandparents and my parents. But just watching my grandmother sew, and my Aunt Janice is a great sewer. She taught her, and she gave me a little tiny sewing machine when I was like 8. So I've always liked to sew, and then I learned how to crochet. And then my other grandmother, my mom's mom, was a great crocheter. So that sewing has helped me mend little things instead of throwing them out or having to give them to the Goodwill. So ironically, go to the YouTube or the TikTok and learn some things that might help you save money. And again, we're not judging people with food insecurity at all. They're in our families. We're not judging people because, oh, you didn't manage money while you were working. We're not doing that because you don't know what someone's story is. You just got to help them and let people know where resources are. And that's that. That's my faceless YouTube video because I need to go color my hair. Bye-bye.